Ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem on our hands. Now, not us, of course, but the media at large. Because the media at large is acting very small, and I've had enough of it. And we're going to talk about it right now. What is it? That has pros so upset, angry even, detested? Well, it's this. Out of WESH Orlando, man dies after cardiac emergency on It's a Small World at Magic Kingdom report states. Now, they've run this as an article. Made the news, eh? Local news? Okay, whatever, right? You say. It is local news, right? Somebody died of a heart attack on It's a Small World. And people die of heart attacks. And it's a tragedy every time. It's a tragedy for the family. And then it's like doubly a tragedy because you happen to be at Disney World when it happens. You were supposed to be there on vacation. You were supposed to be there making memories as a family. And now you have this tragedy in your family that will always be associated with this. And what a horrible, terrible thing. We hate to lose people. I mean, it's just like, what else is there that's worse, right? And we all know that. We've all had that call that we dread and we never want to hear again, where we get the info that something has happened that's terrible to a loved one, and we were not anticipating it. We never had a chance to grieve prior to it happening, and we know that. So what is it that I hate about this, beyond the fact that it's a hateable situation? We don't want families to go through this. Well, I hate that it's being used to make money. And you say, Pro, who's making the money? Is it Disney making the money? No, Disney's not making money off this. So who's making the money, Pro? A bunch of clickbait nonsense makers online. I'll show you. Brandon Hogan, who we're not claiming is one such person, is writing this. And again, this is a local outlet, so I don't have a problem with this one. Do what you got to do. You're local. Orange County, Florida. A man died in April after suffering a cardiac emergency. In April. They're covering this in July. Why? Because the medical reports, they got a hold of him. Probably did it like a giant FOIA request. A man died in April after suffering a cardiac emergency while riding It's a Small World at the Magic Kingdom, according to a theme park injury report. See, here you go. From the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. This isn't even news anymore. Released Wednesday, the FDACS report includes new data from the second quarter of 2026. In that time, from April to July, Legoland, SeaWorld, and Busch Gardens made no injury reports to the state, while Universal made 4 and Walt Disney made 5, according to the document. Among those latter 5 reports out of Disney World, it stated that on April 24th, a 54-year-old man with a pre-existing condition experienced a cardiac emergency on It's a Small World and was taken to a hospital where he later died. Heart attack. Here's what I have a problem with, folks, and I think you're going to have a problem with it as well. Here's if I search for Disney World death. I did this so you could see the list. WSH, which I have no problem. It's a local, whatever they want to do, okay? Orlando Sentinel. Getting a little bit more broad now. I'm starting to have a problem. State injury report. Man with heart condition dies after Magic Kingdom ride. Fox News. Disney World guest with heart condition dies of cardiac emergency after iconic ride. Why is that headline written that way? So that you wonder, what is the classic ride? Like, did he die on Tower of Terror? Did he die on Rock and Roller Coaster, Space Mountain? Like, you're like, is it dangerous now? The headline is written that way. Newser says guest dies after Disney's It's a Small World ride. Why is it written that way? Well, they want you to wonder, like, did he fall off? Did he collapse? Right? And you can see a tourist turn on one of Disney's gentlest rides ended in tragedy. So they've got different ways that they play this. Allears.net, new report reveals 5 injuries on Disney World rides, including a death. WPEC, which is local, so it's okay. I don't mind the locals, right? And I'll tell you why in just a second. News Nation, man dies of cardiac emergency after riding Disney It's a Small World. AOL, Disney World guest dies after riding It's a Small World. Fox 13 Tampa, whatever. New York Post, Disney World guest 54 died on iconic ride after suffering heart emergency, new report reveals. Who can tell me out there? Who knows why I have a problem with this? Well, let me show you this first. If we go to thatparkplace.com, thatparkplace.com is not covering this at all. See, we're covering the Odyssey, Dean Cain, House of David, Fast and Furious. We cover theme park stuff all the time. Fast and Furious Supercharged closing for good this summer. We cover theme park stuff all the time. Why are we not covering it? Why is, and we'll give kudos, we'll give a shout out, right? Because I run that park place, right? Marvin Montanaro is the editor-in-chief, but, you know, I don't run wdwmagic.com, and look at them. Nothing on it. Not a thing on it. And I'm going to tell you why I have a problem with it. And here it is, folks. I have a problem with this because this is somebody's family. They went to Disney World. This could happen at a grocery store. It can happen in your sleep and happen all kinds of places. But it just so happens that while at Disney World, a man had a heart attack and died. And I bet this is a very tragic, private, and personal thing. They've already had the funeral, I'm sure. They've remembered this life. This has been something that is going to sting forever. We went to Disney World, and our loved one passed away. Going to sting a long, long time. Months later, this family's tragedy is used to get people to click headlines. It's the easiest way for them to get people to click the headline, to click the article so they can get ad revenue, is to make something that is not, it doesn't have anything to do with Disney.
Hello?
That now, what do you think about this, Erika, that now we've reached this point where if you die in Disney, then the national news media is going to write all about it. Doesn't have to be a sensational story, but like if you die at Disney or if your grandparents die at Disney or whatever, you're going to be in the national news so that they can get ad revenue. What do you think about that, Erika?
Not really a fan for the same reasons as you. And I don't understand why these, well, you just explained why they're stories, but I guess more on a moral aspect to it. I never understood why people need to write articles about people dying in theme parks. It's life. It happens. These things happen anywhere and everywhere around the U.S. at random times. And Disney's not the first or the last theme park to where sudden death has happened, you know, for medical reasons or not. Yeah, I'm not a fan either. I'm glad you guys aren't following the trends.
It's morbid.
The bandwagon. Yeah,
it's morbid. It's hearse chasing. That's what this is. It's hearse chasing. Because here's the deal, right? It's not ambulance chasing. It's hearse chasing. Like, I got to worry now. If this were to happen to my family at Disney, which, you know, the chances are exceedingly low. But if it does happen to your family, you're going to be on national news. You know, Grandpa Joe or Grandma Juanita, you're suddenly in the news because it makes them a lot of money. Let's bring in Culture Casino right now. Culture Casino is here to talk with us about this. Culture, what do you think about the idea that the mainstream media, the national news now, anytime anybody dies at Disney, you know, you could fall over. In fact, I've seen stories now, Culture, where people die outside of Disney, just so the headline can say, man dies near Disney World. And they don't say, you know, he choked on a rib, or he, you know, had a heart attack outside of, or is it a nursing home? It's a nursing home near Disney, but man dies near Disney. Culture, you're muted somehow. This is very disappointing. I was hoping you would not be. We still can't hear you. We love you, though. And if we could hear you, it would be the most intelligent, esteeming, brilliant thing we'd ever heard in our lives. Still nothing, my friend. Still nothing, my friend.
Yeah.
We got you now. Go ahead, Culture.
Okay. All right. Well, this is not a great microphone, so I'll be switching that in just a moment. But this one is open to the open air around me. So if anybody's around me, they shouldn't talk or breathe or anything. But anyway, I find it reprehensible. I think it's one of those situations that I mean, obviously, people are not with us every single day. We lose people every day, and having to relive that pain, as you pointed out, and as Erika just talked about, is something that we should not all be forced through. You know, we've already had a time to process grief. We're always going to remember, you know, the situation where we lost a family member and under what circumstance that happened. So I think that this being somewhat of a source of news is kind of reprehensible. I don't think, you know, the fact that somebody, you know, had a heart attack or had a medical incident should be covered in this way, in a sensational way, by any outlet. I find that irresponsible and irredeemable, to stay on the same, you know, path.
Right, but it's not illegal. And
No.
I'll tell you this, Culture. So I thought when I began researching this story, I thought, you know, well, we're going to take it to, you know, some little websites that have turned this into a business. Because every time somebody dies now anywhere near Disney, they run an article on it. You know, man dies near Disney. Woman kicks shin near Disney, dies of gangrene later in the hospital. Like, anywhere they can find a way to put that somebody died at Disney, they do it. And I thought I was going to take on the little guys, right? And then I look and it's Fox News and it's the New York Post. And I'm sorry, but This is a fact of life. It's a very sad fact of life. We hate it, but people pass away. And when people pass away anywhere near Disney, it's not a story. And what they're doing is they're weaponizing the grief of these families in order to get 15, 20, 100 more dollars out of ad revenue. And it's like, come on, people, are we this desperate? Are we this desperate for news? Apparently we are.
It's disappointing. And look, we've been seeing this trend for a while, I think, in news coverage, because again, it does get clicks if you can tie it into something. I mean, look, there is a reality of clickbait out there, and even our local news does it. And again, it's just very disappointing.
But the thing is, okay, so let's say local news, local news tends to be quite the morbid place to go. They got to do what they got to do. But you turn on the local news is about somebody died every single night, over and over and over again, right? Okay. But that's bad enough. But when it's months and months later, and the national news picks it up because, somebody died at Disney in April. Somebody had a heart attack. And months later, and you think about this family, right? I hope nobody clips that. It's going to be weird. Months later, this family says, hey, and I haven't even looked up the person's name. I think it's inappropriate. Months later, somebody in that family has to call and say, hey, guys, I need you to know, Grandpa Jones or whatever his name is in the news. We're all in the news because these, Fox and the New York Post and CNN and yada, yada, it's all over the news, just so you know. You might want to avoid it because it's going to, it's sad to see it again. And it's like, it's just too much. It's just too much. It's like they don't care about these people whatsoever, right? We don't need to know what this person did for a living. We don't need to know who their family is. We don't need to know. We just need to know that they died at Disney so we can make some money. Please help us make money. Please. I wonder, do they wake up every day and they say, okay, it's time to check the obituaries. We got anybody in Disney World? Ooh, we got a story. Oh, man, they died at SeaWorld? God. We can't make a story out of SeaWorld. Get out of here, you. Get me a Disney death. That's how it feels. It's desperate. Erika, your thoughts. I'll give you the final word.
I hate how the headlines, when you read them, it kind of gives you the feeling that somehow Disney's at fault for these deaths.
Oh, that's the whole, it's the whole idea on getting you to click it.
And I don't click on them because I'm like, no, I'm not even going to bother because that's not news. People die of medical stuff all the time anywhere. And no.
That's right. All right, folks, that's where we'll leave it. Some say that we never defend the House of Mouse. That's not true. In this case, we're saying, hey, all you journalists, you gumshoes out there, why don't you go find a real story? Quit doing this nonsense. Quit hurting families. It's uncouth.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.